Welcome back to another video, guys. Today we're going to be ranking all 26 Apex Legends. So we got the S, A, B, C, and D tier. S being the best, D being the worst. Alright, first things first, let's go ahead and start off with Ashe. Me personally, Ashe is good. I don't really know exactly where I would put her. I wouldn't put her at S tier. Wouldn't necessarily put her at D tier either. I want to say C tier, and the reason being, as good as she is with the portal, I do think her tactical does need a little bit of work. In the sense that it's good to use, right? But it's not the thing that's going to clutch up the game. Okay? Moving on, I'm going to move on to my boy Caustic. Now, Caustic is one of those legends where he's amazing. He's amazing in ranked. He's amazing in normal play. The only thing I don't really like him for are the LTMs, for example. Think of like team deathmatch, that kind of thing. I am a lot more scared fighting a good Caustic than I am fighting an Ashe, right? So at Caustic, honestly, I'm going to go ahead and put him at A tier. The reason being, with this new season update, all defensive legends, when they are in Storm, they do go ahead and get a 25 shield add-on, a bonus, if you will. And honestly, with his fortified perk, he's a powerhouse. Simple as that. Moving on to Alter. As much as I want to like Alter, she has a really cool tactical. Her ultimate's finicky, to say the least. I personally don't even realize that it's even out sometimes, and I have to really pay attention, or a teammate has to call it out. Personally, I'm going to put Alter at C tier. You guys might disagree with me, you might not. She's not amazing. I think she needs a little bit of work. Moving on to Catalyst. With this new season of Rank, Season 22, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I'm going to put her up at A tier. The reason I say A tier, there are so many doors on this new map. It is insane. The ability to fortify these doors and build them once they're broken, fantastic. I love it personally. Her wall, I could care less about her wall. In my opinion, it's one of the least powerful ultimates out there. It's a wall. You can still shoot through it. If enemies walk through it, it's nothing crazy. They just get a little bit of slowdown and their screen goes a little bit dark. It's nothing crazy. But aside from that, her tactical is where it's at. Excuse me. Her tactical is where it's at. Her passive is pretty good. Moving on to Ballistic, I cannot. As much as I want to like Ballistic, that third sling is awesome. I love the third sling. What I don't love is how clumsy it is to actually use it. Now, this is coming from an Xbox player who plays on controller. I'm going to have to put him at D tier. There's not enough for him to put him even at a C tier. I would much rather have a good Ashe, a good Alter, than a Ballistic on that team. I will tell you this, there are some Ballistics out there when they use their ultimate and you have your guns and it's planned out, fantastic. You know, the quick reloads are amazing. Moving on to Gibby. I like Gibby. Gibby's a cool character. What I don't like about Gibby is his lack of movement. His ultimate feels like it takes forever to actually charge up. The area blast that it actually has isn't too big. And the bubble, as cool as the bubble is, I feel like the bubble is just, it's too easy to get into, in the sense that if you're fighting someone one-on-one and you toss it, it's just, they rush you and you're done. The arm shield though, the arm shield is amazing. I'm going to have to put Gibby at C tier. Just because of the arm shield. Especially with the new LMG perk that's out this season. Fantastic. Now, we got Lifeline. Moving on to Lifeline. Mozambique here. Lifeline, solid B tier. Solid, so I don't even have to think about it. She's not amazing. She's not terrible. She's the kind of character you can just pick up and go. You know how to use her. Only thing with Lifeline, one of the things I don't like about her is how close you actually have to be to your teammates. Say your teammate goes down 50 meters out, you have to rush over there and help them out, which is fine, you know, it's a combat medic. But at the same time, you go for that revive and enemies are instantly just shooting at you. So it's no fun to use when you're getting shot at when you're down. Her drone, in my opinion, could use some work. It's not amazing. I could take it or leave it. I think it needs something else. But yeah, Lifeline, she's good. I like her for ranked. I like her for regular modes. Fantastic. Moving on to Bloodhound. Now, Bloodhound's interesting. I've had really good Bloodhounds on my team. With the scans, with the ultimate. Bloodhound, in my opinion, with his ultimate specifically, they nerfed him into the ground. Give me older season Bloodhound, I would have put him at A tier, possibly S tier. For this one though, I am going to put him at C tier. C tier, let me tell you why. Just the fact that his ultimate takes a while to charge up, and his scans take quite a bit of time to actually go through to the next one. I'm going to have to, I would pick a different legend. Now Loba, one of my mains, amazing. It's hard to put her in S tier because near end game she is very hit or miss. In the sense that if you need ammo, you got her, perfect, you're chilling. But if you don't, if you're all stocked up and everything, her ultimate does leave something to be desired. I'm gonna have to put Loba at A tier with maybe an S tier, maybe depends on the player that uses her. I do love her bracelet. Her bracelet is amazing, especially with the new buff that I got, as well as the 25% ultimate range. I think that's amazing. I'm gonna put her at A tier. Moving on to Pathfinder. Pathfinder for season 23, solid S tier. I have had so much fun playing as Pathfinder. Grappling up onto buildings, just getting away from fights, resetting with the zipline, going wherever you need to go, scanning either the ring consoles or the survey beacons. Amazing. Overall, just a great legend to pick. He is a little selfish in the sense that not too much of a team player with the tactical, but he more than makes up with it with the amount of distance and ground he covers, as well as his zip lines. Moving on to Bangalore. Bangalore solid. Nothing wrong with Bangalore. I love her smokes. I love her ultimate. Her passive is fantastic. I'm also going to have to put Bangalore at A tier though. As much as I like Bangalore, I do think she needs just a little bit more work in the sense of her ultimate. Her ultimate, when I throw it down, it feels a little short in the sense of there's not enough range with it. Enemies are easily able to avoid it, much like Gibraltar's. And overall, she leaves me wanting more, especially with her cooldown on these smokes. Moving on to Octane. Octane is Octane, man. Like, I love Octane. He's fantastic. I love him. Super fun legend to use, super easy to use. The double jump pad is amazing. If you aren't picking double jump pad, you are leaving your team at a disadvantage. I want to put him at C tier. Honestly though, for this new season of ranked, it's either between A or B. I would want to say, I would much rather have a Bangalore on my team than I would an Octane though. So I'm going to put him over at B tier. Not terrible, not the best, nice little middle ground. Moving on to Seer, instantly Seer, D tier. I don't like Seer. I loved him when he first came out. He would use his tactical, he would stop the resist, he would flash you, he would inflict like 10 damage or something. He was crazy overpowered back then. Amazing legend. Now though, he feels kind of meh. He feels a little, I don't know what they did with him exactly, but he's just not viable in the sense of it's a lot faster paced. His ultimate is cool. You have to know how to use it though. His ultimate is amazing. It's a game changer. But for this new season of ranked, I don't see a lot of Seers getting a lot of love. Moving on to Mirage. Mirage, honestly, compared to Seer and Ballistic, I'm going to put him at C tier. I love Mirage. I am biased. Mirage is my main. I love bamboozling people. I love his ultimate. The fact that he gets it every 30 seconds now when you upgrade it, fantastic. I could care less about the purple shield. He either gets 2 bamboozles or he refreshes when he gets a bamboozle. I think that's kind of whack. I think he needs a little bit more to him in order for him to bump up. But overall, not terrible. Not terrible. He's really good for support, especially resing. I would much rather have a Mirage resume than I would a Lifeline, just because of that invisibility perk. Now Maggie. Maggie is interesting. I don't personally like using Maggie. I'm not a big shotgun user in the game. But for this new season of ranked, let me tell you something. She goes insane with that riot drill. Just instant A tier. maybe S tier, depending on the person you talk to, maybe a B tier, it'll vary. Her tactical is just amazing. It is strong, it's powerful, it's super easy to use, especially when you upgrade it and it gets even more range. Just fantastic. Her ultimate with the thermites that it drops on the ground just causes so much havoc, and I love it. I'm here for it. Revenant. I don't know how I feel about Revenant. He is very hit or miss. I don't personally like having Revenants on my team. It just feels a little selfish. I'm going to put him at D tier. Now, don't come at me. I understand that Revenant has that sort of verticality, but I've used his tactical. I would much rather take an Octane or a Pathfinder over a Revenant. The reason being, the Revenant tactical just feels slow, slows you down when you're using it. It just overall feels a little gimmicky, a little buggy. I would much rather have the ultimate that he had beforehand, which was the Totem. The new one he has is cool. I don't like it though. It feels like you're just a major target, and every time I use it, I get instantly railed. Just 300 damage to the face. Now, moving on to, what's her face? Conduit. B tier. Solid B tier, maybe a C tier. I would, if I had to move one, I would maybe put Ashe B and Conduit as C. Now, Conduit's cool. Her tactical's cool if you're using it right, especially when you're supporting teammates. Fantastic. Her ultimate, though, it does leave some space to be desired. When I pop it down, it's cool for, not letting enemies cross through. Fantastic. I love it. But when you're using it inside of buildings, it can be a little wonky. It's just not an amazing experience. I do wish that her upgrades, when you upgrade your shield, were a little bit better. I like what they did with the shield battery, where you now get an extra one per slot, so you basically carry your gold your gold backpack. That's really cool, but even if you do pick up a gold backpack, it still does limit it to 3 stacks. Now, moving on to Rampart. Rampart, I love Rampart. She is one of my favorite legends. For this season, I am going to have to put her at S tier, no doubt about it. That extra 25 shield she gets when she is in zone is fantastic. Pair that up with a nice wall placement and just go ahead and get a couple of dings, maybe with a 30-30, a G7, even a Hemlock with a 3x on it on single fire. Amazing. The fact that she's able to just block off little areas, fantastic. Provide cover for you, easy. What I really like with what they did this season was the way they changed up her ultimate. So now, it only takes a few seconds for you to be able to get an ultimate, and you can actually place it down and still have 173 rounds of ammo to just go ahead and shoot. Fantastic. I love her. Moving on to Valkyrie. Valkyrie is one of those characters where, for me, she's very hit or miss. She's either the best character in the world or just trash. Straight trash. I am unfortunately going to have to put her at D tier for this season. The reason for that being, I feel like there's too many walls that you can't get through. Moving on to Vantage. For this season, Vantage, solid B tier. Her ultimate ability is fantastic. The fact that she's able to pretty much get nothing but hits, fantastic. Her tactical is okay in my opinion. I would much rather take Revenant's tactical compared to Vantage's. But that's just me. I know some people love the little bat. I like it. It's cool. I just wish it was implemented in a better way. Moving on to Fuse. Fuse is interesting. For this season, I can see him getting a lot, and I mean a lot of damage, specifically inside of buildings, and just throwing his knuckle clusters, 50,000 meters across the map. I am going to put him at a solid B tier for this one. The reason I don't put him at A tier or S tier is just, how do I put it? You have to be able to maximize your damage with Fuse. Now, I have had games where I get just crazy amounts of damage with no kills with Fuse, just specifically based off of that knuckle cluster and running a 30-30. He is amazing. Overall, a decent legend. I don't want to rank him any higher just because I do think he does need a little bit more work in the sense of his upgrades. Now we got Watson for this season. Watson is one of those characters where you can make really big brain moves, and I love it. I'm here for it. I've done it before. I've seen people do them on me. Seen the videos on TikTok, YouTube, all that stuff. She is fantastic. For this season though, it's between a C or a B tier. And the reason I say C or B and not higher than that, she is a defensive legend, so she is going to get that 25 extra shield when in zone. She does also have the revive. She does also have the revive teammates up to 50 health, which is cool, but honestly, I don't see myself using it too often. Her ultimate is amazing. I love it. But just the fact that it can be destroyed so easily, I am going to have to put her at a C tier for this specific ranking. Now, we move on to Horizon. Horizon is one of those characters where I'm trash with her. I'm absolute garbage with Horizon. I hate her ultimate. Her ultimate is disgustingly underpowered. And it's just the kind of ultimate where I'm like, what am I doing? You know? I am going to put her at B tier just because of her tactical. It is really useful, especially with the verticality of this new map. And I love that. Now, for this season, Crypto, solid S tier. No doubt about it. No, you can't convince me otherwise. The amount of information that Crypto actually brings to the table is insane. The fact that he goes invisible with his drone now, phenomenal. That should have been in there since day one. You're able to make some insane plays with Crypto. He's able to pick up banners, craft you not craft you, but get you that respawn super quick. Overall, he's just an amazing legend. And I cannot wait to see what kind of plays people do with Crypto this season. Wraith, I like Wraith. Wraith is cool. I do wish her ultimate was a little bit easier to use in the sense that it was faster. I feel like when teammates use the Wraith, we're all grouped up and it just takes forever to use it. It becomes more of a nuisance. It becomes more of a nuisance than it does actually help. I do wish that you could see what's on the other side of the portal. I think that would definitely bump her up a tier or two. I am going to have to put her over at B tier for this season. The reason being, she just needs a little bit of work in my opinion. Newcastle, I've played Newcastle. Maybe I'm just terrible with him. Maybe I'm just not using him right. I have no idea what's happening with him. But I am going to put Newcastle at a D tier for this season. He just needs a little bit more work in order for him to become viable, for me at least. Let me know what you guys think. This is Alejandro Boss. If you guys agree with the spot on, go ahead and let me know down in the comments below. Thank you.